One of the most frequently asked questions that I receive from viewers is about color on African cichlids and how you guys can get color in your fish the way that mine show up. Hey fish friends, how's it going? Hope everyone's doing well. My name is Zenzo from TazawaTanks.com. So today I'm going to talk a little bit about African cichlid color. Now I've made videos in the past about how to kind of determine males versus females, how long it takes to get them to color up. Today I'm going to talk specifically about how to make the colors in your African cichlids really pop, whether it's for your own enjoyment in your home or if you're taking videos and photos of your fish. The easiest way to really see the color of your fish in your home aquarium is with lighting. If you have a dimly lit tank, the colors on the fish are really not going to show up. So you really want to make sure that you have a good light on your tank that is brilliant enough to really show off all the colors of the fish. There are several types of lights that you can use to really make the colors pop. My preference is to use a really quality LED light, as I found that the spectrum of the LED lights really help to show the full color and brilliance of the African cichlids. On this tank I happen to use a Fluval marine light. So this light is specifically made for marine tanks and to keep corals alive, but it also does a great job of showing off the colors of your African cichlids. The other tip when it comes to lighting is where you place the light on your tank. So if you have a tank that is mildly lit and you have that light placed anywhere in the tank, it's not going to do a really good job of showing the colors of the fish. But if you have a brighter light and you move that light to the front of the tank near the front surface of the front glass surface, it's really going to radiate down on the fish and allow their colors to fully display for you to enjoy when you're sitting in your chair, your sofa, or walking by. The colors are really going to pop on the fish. Even if you have a really good light and it's a bright light, if you have that further back in the tank, the fish are going to look a little bit more muted in color. They'll still look really good, but you're not going to have that same brilliance that you would have with that light at the front of the tank. So the next tip I'm going to give you might be a little bit controversial, but it also might make a lot of sense to you, and that is regarding diet. Now it is very important to make sure that you feed your African cichlids a very quality food, and there's a lot of different brands of food out there. I'm not going to tell you what brand you should or shouldn't use because there's a lot of very good ones. My recommendation is to do your research and to come up with a food that's readily accessible to you that you are able to purchase and provide for your fish and feed it to them on a consistent basis. Also, having a few different types of food is good for your fish so that you're giving them some variety of whether it be frozen foods, freeze-dried foods, pellet foods, etc. That can also aid in the health of the fish, which will then result in better colors. Now, it's no secret that having good food for your fish is definitely a plus. But I'm going to tell you guys a little bit of a trade secret here that some people, probably most people, don't know about. So there are foods on the market that are specifically designed to help aid in the color of the fish. Some of those foods are made specifically for fish like blood parrots as an example. What I learned a while ago from talking to a breeder and talking to some local fish stores is that sometimes when they're trying to make a fish really pop, they will give that fish blood parrot food. So blood parrot food has some colors in it, some natural colors that they get from like chilies, etc., that really bring out the red of the fish. And what they will do is they will give those blood parrot foods to some fish to really help that color pop. So for an example, here in the United States, we cannot get Asian arowana, but sometimes you'll see a silver arowana that really displays kind of some reddish hues, and sometimes that's because of the food that they're feeding the fish. So here's an example. This is a hikari food. This is a blood parrot food, and you can feed this to your fish and it will make their colors come out a little bit. Now, this is a good food. It does have some good ingredients and it has the right amount of protein content, etc. for the peacock cichlids. And I have experimented with this. I've actually done some testing quite a bit down in the fish room, and I started to test a little bit with these guys as well. And what I have noticed is that when I give them this food on occasion, from time to time, I will start to see some of the reds and the pinks and the oranges come out a little more. Now, I'm not feeding this food to them all of the time. I'm down in the fish room where I was doing some testing. I was doing it all the time, and those results were pretty significant. But up here, I'm just kind of doing it periodically just for fun, just to see if I can make some of the colors pop. Now, I do feed other foods, so here's a popular food brand here that a lot of you guys are familiar with. I'll also do freeze-dried krill and shrimp and some other foods as well. So they get a wide variety of foods. but I did want to share that little trade secret that, again, might be a little bit controversial for some of you, but feeding your fish a food that does have some coloration in it will help to bring out some color in some of the fish. The last thing I'm going to talk about is photos and taking video. So I kind of gave you the lighting tip already as far as where to put the light in the tank to really have those colors pop. A lot of times people will talk about, photos that I've posted on Instagram or pictures that I've used for my thumbnails of the videos. Those are actually pictures or videos of my fish. So I've taken my camera or I've taken my cell phone and I've just snapped a picture of a fish. However, a lot of the pictures that you see on Instagram, and not just mine, but a lot of people, they're edited, and some of them are edited quite heavily. So when you're playing with exposure and you're playing with the colors and the hues and saturation, things like that, you can really change the way a photo appears or the way that a fish appears in a photo. So one thing that I would recommend is if you are taking pictures of fish, taking pictures of fish is difficult, and trying to get them to stay still, it doesn't happen, right? So you just have to take, 15 or 20 shots or 100 just to get 1 or 2 good ones. But when you do get those good shots, you will want to make sure that you have some type of app where you can do some editing, whether it's Photoshop or any other app that you might have on your phone or on your computer. You will want to utilize those tools to help the fish look better in the final result. So what I will tell you is that sometimes what you see is not exactly how it appears in real life. So if you see a photo of a picture that I've posted on Instagram, or if you've seen someone else post photos of fish and you're like, how did they ever get a fish to look that brilliant? I can't do it. There are some, I don't want to say tricks, but little techniques that they're doing to make sure that they can draw all the color out of that fish to make it look really brilliant. So playing with the lighting and doing some editing on in the app as well, and then also sometimes feeding your fish a food that might enhance their color is another way of aiding the kind of brilliance of the fish and making them pop. Anyway, that was it. Just a couple tips on how to make your African cichlid colors pop, or even some of your other fish that you might try to see some of the best colors on the fish. Again, move the lights forward, look at the foods that you're feeding, make sure that you do, give them a quality food and some variations. And if you do choose to use a colored food, do your research and make sure that's going to be appropriate for your fish. And then if you are taking photos or if you are making video, learn how to edit and make those colors really come out. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Thanks for watching. We'll catch you on the next one.